Kathleen Wilson has made it her mission to care for women in need. It all began after an exchange with a pregnant woman outside a D.C. abortion clinic. Wilson says it changed her life.
I really was hesitant, but I walked over and she rolled down a window and I said, is there something that I can help you with? And she said, what can you help me with?
After that experience 18 years ago, Wilson and a few friends opened Mary's Shelter in Fredericksburg.
For the women that call us, the pregnancy isn't generally the crisis, it's all the other stuff going on in their life.
Wilson helps women escaping abusive relationships and managing tremendous financial strains. Mary's Shelter, which operates purely on donations, provides more than 30 bedrooms for women and their children. Wilson says her upbringing and faith guide her work.
I come from a big Irish Catholic family, and my dad was a police officer, so there wasn't, a ton of money, but there was never a time, ever a time, where somebody in need didn't come to my mother and she wasn't able to stay with us, or he wasn't able to stay with us, or my mom didn't feed them. She had a quote she'd always say, I can always add another potato to the pot.
She also sees every child as a gift from God.
I wish there weren't abortions, I really do. I mean, I wish women didn't feel that need. I do believe that, it's the taking of a life, and that's a very hard thing. That's a very horrible decision for any woman to have to make.
Wilson considers the care offered at Mary's Shelter as an alternative to abortion.
I don't want to take away people's rights, but I want to take away abortion. I want to get to a point where nobody feels like they have to have an abortion. Like we serve these women in other ways. If it's housing they need, if it's mental health care, if it's assistance with the child, I want to fund those things.
She disagrees with the argument that reproductive care should be kept between a woman and their doctor.
I just don't think that the decision is really there anymore. There's been a created human.
Shira Zemmel also grew up in a deeply religious home. Her father was a rabbi, and her grandfather was an OBGYN in Pennsylvania.
He was an abortion care provider before and after Roe versus Wade. I have so many memories going to Harrisburg and going around with my grandparents, and we couldn't go anywhere without people coming up to us and telling me as a young person, oh, your grandfather delivered me or delivered my children. I think a lot about maybe the former patients of his who would see us and maybe not come up and tell us that my grandfather helped them when they needed help.
Zemmel heads the abortion access campaign for the country's oldest Jewish feminist organization. She says Judaism clearly prioritizes the life of a mother over the unborn.
There's no Jewish idea of fetal personhood, that the life of the pregnant person takes precedent. And Jewish tradition, over centuries in rabbinic literature, continues to reaffirm this, that the life of the pregnant person is our priority.
Zemmel argues the First Amendment and freedom of religion should protect the right to an abortion.
The same way that it's the anti-abortion protesters' right to be up on the street, bringing their deeply held beliefs about abortion into the public square, that same First Amendment that protects them is the same First Amendment that should protect us to practice our religion, or if we don't have a religion, as we see fit, and for no one's religion to interfere with the laws of our country.
The Supreme Court's 2022 decision in Dobbs gave individual state legislatures the power to legislate abortion access. In Virginia, the law currently allows abortion through the second trimester, with some exceptions later in pregnancy. University of Richmond law professor Meredith Harbaugh says this could change depending on who's in office.
It's one of the consequences of this no longer being a right protected at the federal level. So it is both returned to the states and returned to the legislative branches, meaning they can change their minds.
Thank you for watching. Continue to follow Virginia news and stories by subscribing to our VPM YouTube channel.